Guys, this is Helene with Restart, and today we're doing the first video I've ever done where you can see my actual face. I hope it works out. You'll have to let me know, make sure I didn't scare you to death. So I bought a couple months ago this golden So Flat collection from ArtSnacks, and I finally got around to using it. It was something I really wanted to try. I don't use acrylic very often, but it came with a really cool little collection of items. So I thought I would do a video to show you what I decided to do. So the first thing I did was I took the Art Alternatives Studio Wood panels. They had a 6x6 and an 8x8. And I painted them with the white flat paint. Now I could have just said these as well, but I wanted to stick with what was in the actual container. I let that dry, and then I sketched on a little skull. Now, I did the 6x6 already. I didn't record that one because I wasn't sure how to use it, and I wanted to play with it a little bit first. So as you can see on top, I did this one in all black and then did the colors on top of it. And it really, really pops, these colors. So it's the Golden So Flat Matte Acrylics. Excuse me. I got 5 jars. It was about $67 or something like that, is what they retail for. I believe the whole kit together was like maybe $70 or something. So, I mean, you almost got the brushes and the wood for free. So, anyhow, you can see on here, I did go around and add it's not black, it's Payne's Gray. So I put the Payne's Gray around to kind of block in where I was going to be doing my little skeleton sketch. And I did the same thing on the other one, except for I just did that one in black and I didn't do the white underneath. But this one, I really wanted it to look like the 6x6 skull, and you'll see what I mean in a minute, sort of is exploding. So that's what I decided to do. So I really wanted that white in the background to use like in his eyes and his mouth. And you'll see what I mean by the end of this video. So anyhow, I'm painting with the Payne's Gray at this point, and I'll tell you, I love this paint. Let me tell you a little bit about it. I'm going to read a couple of things. So it's 100% acrylic. It's smooth, viscous. I guess it's viscous. I would agree with that. I guess it's got a nice texture to it. Oh, if you notice, I had my art drawing glove on and I took it off. I forgot I had it on. I live in that thing because I just got a Huey on and I freaking love it. It's the coolest thing ever. I got the 16 Pro, I think is what it's called. And it took me a little while to get used to it, but I'm trying to get into digital art because I just think it's like the way of the future. And so I'm learning, I've been using an iPad. So anyway, let's keep it moving. So I got Payne's Gray, Naples Deep Yellow, Pyrrole Red, Titanium White, Turquoise. Yeah, 5 colors. So it was great because I could mix colors to get other colors since I had a yellow, a red, and a bluish color. I couldn't really get a purple, but I got like a nice brown out of it, like a brownie purple, which worked. Anyhow, it layers well. It's very smooth. It is flat. When it says matte, it is matte. Boy, I'll tell you, it is matte. As you can see, I have my setup here. So I have my 2 water containers. In my water containers, and of course, I immediately darken it to black. It's very satisfying to watch. But anyways, I always keep 2 because I like to keep one for dirty water and one for clean water. I mean, I think if you do art, you kind of already know that. But, if you're starting out and you don't know, then that's what it's for. I also painted around the edges, but I didn't show a lot of that because, you don't want to sit there and watch me paint around the edges of the canvas. So I mixed my colors. I did use a small amount of water with some of it I didn't. It didn't seem to affect the paint at all other than make it slightly thinner. As you can see, I added some water to this turquoise, and when I'm putting it on, you can see how much thinner it is than the Payne's Gray that I didn't add water to. But it sort of helped me figure out where I wanted to put things and layer things the way I needed them to layered. I wanted some lighter areas and I wanted some darker areas. So that's what I ended up having to do, okay? I'm recording. You want to come say hi? You can come say hi if you want. So if there's like a big glare of light on my face, I'm sorry. I have like this window that comes into my office, my studio, And I've been trying to fix it. You should see it. It's hysterical. I have like all this stuff up because the window blind came down and I have to get better curtains. But I have it all blocked out with all these different things. Honey, can you take your iPad in the other room so that it's not so loud? Or you can come say hi. It's up to you. But I don't want it in the background, okay? So she'll make all this noise in the background. Watch. We'll hear it the whole time we're on here. We'll hear it. Maybe we won't hear it. I don't know if we'll hear it. Anyhow, so I just kind of am taking, with my sketch, taking the turquoise, placing it where I wanted to place it. The brushes are Princeton Select Artiste Mixed Media brushes. I quite like them. I feel like they'll be great for making those like, what are they called? The double dip, like a little bit of one pink color on this side, one pink color on this side. They call it something. I can't think what it's called. But where you like do your little flowers and it gives you the dark and the light at the same time. I'm obsessed with square brushes. I actually really like square brushes because I like the edges you can get on them, and I feel like you can do a lot with them. So I was excited to get those, and it came with, I have them right here, this square brush here, and then the angled brush. The square one I used for anything that was in large masses. I used the, what do they call it? Angular shader. Yeah, the angular shader for most everything else. And then as I drop everything, I used the round brush, and this is a 5. So I don't know if I even use this, but for like little details right at the end, because I feel like I can get, you know, just use the tip of this brush here of the shader, and you know, I kind of worked with it that way. So, I mean, I'll sign my name with these. It just seemed a little bit large for the size of the canvas, but what are you going to do? So the brushes, actually, it's a set of 3. They retail for $19.99. They're mixed media. The angle shader is 3/8. The flat wash is 3/4. And the round is a 5, like I said. And then the wood panels, oh, yeah, $19.99. And then the wood panels retail for $7.99 for the 6x6 and $11.49 for the 8x8. So, I mean, it's a good deal. It was a good deal, and I was excited to try it, and I'll definitely use it again. I loved using this on wood. I have yet to use it on canvas, but I think it'll be interesting enough. It dries extremely fast. It is not great for blending, although I'm sure you could probably water it down enough to do that. This is where I added more water so I could get the little drips, and I dripped around the edges and, you know, did some more drips kind of towards the end. But I really ended up painting them on more because I like the brightness of the color, and I felt like when I watered it down, then, you know, and why not just slap a little red on there with my fingers since I made a huge mess. I just started a video a minute ago where I got that gouache that's like super popular online right now. I think it's like called Himi or Maya or I don't know, something like that. But I was like opening all the containers, and I already washed my hands, but oh my God, I had stuff all over my hands. It was crazy. So now I'm using, I went in with the Naples Yellow Deep and the turquoise, and I did a couple mixes. I sort of let them intermix inside the painting on a few areas. I loved how this red sort of spread across the top, so I left it alone. I really wanted it to mimic the other design, but look a little looser and a little softer. The other one that I did, the other skull that I did, still had all the same colors, but it was a little more blocky. So I wanted it to almost look like, okay, the skull got a little bit bigger, screamed, yelled, and things kind of started falling apart. And that's what I went with. And honestly, there's no rhyme or reason to how I placed the colors. It was a matter of making sure that, you know, I wasn't putting, you know, red and green next to each other, or letting them mix, I should say. I put them next to each other, but not letting them mix because I didn't want a lot of brown. I wanted brighter tones. So just being careful of that. I wanted some of the dark to shine through so it looked like it was kind of dripping down. And then just went around the edges with some of these colors. But overall, I mean, I'm really happy with it. Let me tell you a little bit more about the wood panels because I put some notes out and I was like, oh, I'm going to forget these things. So anyways, it's made, let's see what it says. It's great for detailed work. They're super smooth. They are super smooth. I mean, it was nice. It was like writing. It was like painting on paper, like smooth paper. I never felt like I was on wood. Like sometimes when I painted on wood before, maybe I'm getting cheap wood panels, but it kind of gets scratchy, or you can feel this sort of dense like texture to it. But these were really nice and smooth, nicely sanded. They're made of, it says hand sanded birch wood, pine. The sturdy pine cradles on these panels and support and allows for hanging without frame. So you can basically hang it without a frame, which is nice. I'm sure it'd be pretty, frame too. But yeah, you could layer this paint up pretty heavy on it, and it works well. I liked it. So anyhow, the design of this guy here. Oh, keep in mind, I know that it keeps going in and out of focus. I'm trying to figure out my camera and why it's doing that. It seems like when I put it on autofocus, every time my hand gets in the way, of course, it tries to refocus. So I've been working on just doing it on manual, but then I feel like it doesn't look as good. So I don't know. I mean, I have a really nice camera. I just have to learn to use it better, I guess. I thought I knew how to use it. I guess I didn't. So anyhow, the design that I chose, I had a skull. I like skulls. I like tattoos. I don't know if you can see it, but like I have a lot of tattoos and stuff, and I love skulls. I was a hairdresser for like 100 years, and I just have an obsession with heads, I guess. I also like to do portraits. So as I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I was like, I haven't done a skull in a while. We'll do a skull. And sitting on my shelf was this like cool little silver head, which I don't have with me right now. I should have brought it over here. And so I was like, that's what we're going to do. And I said, but I don't really want to do it silver. I got all these colors, so we'll, do something kind of fun. Let it drippy down and fall apart and whatever. And I just kind of use that as a starting point. And then I went on Pinterest, and I always, anytime I do any kind of artwork, any kind of piece that I'm working on, I have a really fun project that I'm doing now that is going to be, I'm hoping I can turn it into a children's book. I'm super excited about it. It's a little bit out there, but, it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. Different than what I've done in the past, but I've had the idea for a long time, so I'm excited about it. But anyways, so every time I go online, I get ready to do a painting, I go online, I go to Pinterest, I go to, just Google or whatever, and I type what kind of the idea that I have, and I storyboard it. Now, this comes from being a salon owner and a hairdresser and doing photo shoots and film and all that kind of stuff for 20 years. I've always storyboarded. I mean, if I did a class, I storyboarded. If I did a new haircut, if I did anything, color, whatever, I always storyboarded. Every one of my clients had a storyboard. I always had, good documentation of what I wanted to work on, because as you're going, you might have this great idea, but as it plays out, it may become something even better, or you might even decide, I don't know if this is going to work the way I thought it was going to work, and that way you're not wasting time. To me, it's really, really effective. As somebody who trained, staff like my entire life, I have some people that work well that way and some people that just like to wing it. It is my experience that the people that wing it struggle harder. So you might as well plan for yourself, lay it down. I use my Huion sometimes to sketch out ideas, to come up with something new. If I draw it out on my canvas right away, then it becomes messy. Right? Like if I get it, what if I draw it out and then I'm like, oh, I don't like where this is, or I don't like where that is. So then I end up having to redo it, and it starts getting messy, especially on wood and on white. If you're erasing. Speaking of, the other one came with. I was like, oh, didn't this come with an eraser? But actually that's the May ArtSnacks, which I'm working on next. See, I'm getting confused. That's the problem with being a mom. I don't really know if that's true. That's just what I'm making up. Anyways, around the mouth area, I'm just sort of defining the shape of the teeth and the jawline. I want a little bit of shadow and highlight in that area to just define it slightly. I'm obviously not looking for a detailed mouth structure. I want it to look like it, is open, and that there's a, back of the mouth when the mouth is open, so you can kind of see into it. Obviously there's no skin there, but we have to make sure that it shows that the mouth is open in some way. And with this type of painting, it just sort of works to add the little area there, that depth in there. So it's not like it's skin, it's just depth, right? So I pulled out the white and now I'm doing some highlighting, and I have to tell you, I absolutely love this turquoise color with the white. I think it's such a pretty blue. I bet in a sky it would be so nice. I haven't done it yet, but I will do it eventually. You can kind of see how this layers at this point and how amazing and how quickly it dries. It makes for a very fast application. And Lonnie, can you stop kicking your feet all over things? See, this is why I don't do this, because she doesn't listen. You can still hear her kicking. Might listen. It'll be like these loud bangs in the background. Okay, it's time to have a studio without kids in it, I guess. Well, I have a nice studio. They just need to go. We have a movie theater room. Like, hang out in the movie theater room. We went outside and played today. We went outside. We had water balloons. We played with a tarp, and I blew up all these water balloons. We played in the hot tub, and I squirted water at them, and then I put the hose up, and it was like a big waterfall. So, what is that called? Hashtag good mom. Just kidding. I'm probably hard. So anyways, I want the eyes to be bright. I want the mouth to be bright, almost like light is coming out from that area. But I wanted to have some kind of color in there. I didn't want it to just be white. So I add the blue, and then I add some, you'll see in a minute, I add some white on top. Because I felt like the blue was just still a little bit too light for what I was going for. But it was great having that underneath because it gave it almost a smoky look, and you'll see that in a second. And again, I'm just layering paint over layering paint until I like what it looks like. The cool thing about doing something like this, and let me be honest with you, if you're new to this and you're painting just for fun, which is exactly how I started out a couple of years ago, I have since taken a lot of classes and learned how to do and be a better artist. Oh, little teeth. So I wanted to have some inclination of little teeth. So I did do small little triangles in the blue. And then I go back in and I blend those more because obviously I didn't want it to look as defined. So I wanted to place them in, and then I add some, depth and stuff later to blend it. And then this is where I mixed the white and the blue and the red together. And I did somewhat of a brownish purple. I wasn't expecting to get a bright purple because how could I? Come here, say hi. You don't see me on there, but I'm on there right now. You want to say hi? Say hi, come on. You can say hi. You got to turn the YouTube off. Okay. There, I'm just showing them my skull. Come on up. You got to be right here. You got to be in the camera. We can't go to the park tonight. We'll talk about it in a minute. I'm almost done. Okay, well, I'm almost done, okay? I love you. By the way, if you notice that I'm missing a tooth, I'm having an implant put in. I look crazy. I know I look crazy, but it'll be done soon. I have to let it heal for 3 months. So until then, I look like this. It's really embarrassing. It was fine when we had masks on, but now that we don't have to wear masks as much, I don't know what to do. I have to just pretend or just continue to wear a mask and pretend I'm crazy. I'm going to have a drink of coffee. So anyways, I hope you guys like this. I think it's cool. But I mean, going back to what I was saying, this is where I'm adding some darker areas just to make it look like it has some depth to it. You could probably have done this with any color. I chose to use this sort of dark purple brown color. I didn't want to completely desaturate it, but I want to do something. But again, if you're new to doing art or you're trying to do this, and this is what I was going to say before I got so distracted, by teeth and my daughter, right, the little teeth, is that you could trace this, okay? I mean, you could find a skull or find something and literally get, I'm sure they have transfer paper or tracing paper or something that you could use and literally trace this. I could even drawn it on my Huion and then maybe transfer I don't really know. I don't know how to do it, but I know that you can do it. I've seen people do it. So if you can't draw and you just wanted to paint it, you could do a transfer. Okay. Oh, you know what I've seen people do? That the art hack thing is where people do the thing where they graphite on the back and then put it down on paper and then use pencil. So anyways, I hope you love it. I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you on the next one.